good evening, everyone. I'm Helen Thomas, communications expert at the Next Genius Foundation. We have Shveta Raina with us, founder of Talerang, with a vision to create work-ready India. So first, let me give a brief introduction about Talerang, and then we'll move on to the introduction of Shveta Raina. Talerang was born in 2013 to be a simple, high-quality solution to India's work readiness crisis. Talerang offers career training to students and professionals with the purpose of creating a work-ready India. They focus on helping candidates to know themselves, then prepare themselves for both their hard and soft skills, and eventually learn the art of proving themselves in the field they choose. In 2019, they completely transitioned to an online model, offering a variety of industry recognized certificate programs with access to internship and job opportunities at more than 350 corporate partners. From bite sized certificate courses to a year long postgraduate certificate program, they have a varied product range for age groups from 13 years. They have impacted over 2 million students in the past 5 years through partnerships with colleges, corporates, the media, and the United Nations Development Program. Now we have Shveta Raina with us, who is the founder of Talerang. She is a graduate of Harvard Business School, where she graduated with honors and the Horace Goldsmith Fellowship for Social Enterprise. She led an independent research project under the guidance of Professor Das Narayan Das to find a solution to India's employability crisis, which grew into Talerang. Her pilots were funded by a grant from Harvard's Social Enterprise Initiative. Shweta has been recognized as one of India Inc.'s rising women leaders by the Economic Times and a woman of courage by India Today. She has been a speaker at TEDx, the Harvard India Conference, UN Young Changemakers, and the Women Economic Forum. She writes a weekly column in India's most circulated paper, that is Dainik Bhaskar, and she focuses on student issues. She is a part of the Mumbai Youth Forum, the IMC Startup Committee, and the IMC Skill Development Committee. Previously, Shweta was a director on the startup team of Teach for India. She was a consultant at McKinsey, New York City office, where she founded and ran the Female Business Analyst Mentorship Program in North America. We are more than delighted to have you, Shweta, with us. And it will be an honor to learn more about your organization and the programs that you're offering to our students. So let's move on to the session. We have a few questions. So the first question would be, could you elaborate on your organization and your offerings to students? How did you start this enterprise and what inspired you?
Okay, firstly, thanks so much for the kind introduction. And it's my pleasure to be here today with all of you. So Talerang is actually the combination of two words, talent and boomerang. So when you think about a boomerang, its special quality is that when you throw it, it actually comes back to you. So similarly with talent, what we believe is that if you invest in your own talent, you will actually get the return. And it's a message to students, colleges, corporates, and the government that instead of just investing in infrastructure or buying a new phone, maybe if you invest in your own self, then you will actually get to see that return over time. So you should invest your time and your resources in upskilling and learning new skills so that you can eventually be a better version of yourself. So that's the whole concept of Talerang. What inspired me? So when I was heading recruitment for the Teach for India Fellowship, I traveled to over 100 colleges in India. And I realized that while India had millions of students graduating every year, close to 10 million students graduating every year, and about 35,000 colleges, less than 3% of the students were deemed employable. So I went back, and when I was at Harvard doing my MBA, I researched this crisis in detail, and I realized it's not just an India-centric problem, it's a global issue where we have millions of graduates, but the skills that we learn are more academic in school and college, and they don't really prepare us for the jobs of the future. In fact, our school and college curriculum has not been updated in decades. So, of course, while it would be great to update that curriculum, in the meanwhile, what we recommend at Talerang is that students start learning about the jobs of the future and start developing their own skills by doing a variety of different activities, which I can talk about more later, so that they are more career ready and more future ready. for the jobs that they will be taking on.
Right. Yep. Could you shed some light on the programs that are being offered to students from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and how does it add value to the students when they are making their profiles for their college admission processes and their applications?
So first and foremost, let me say one thing, that if you are authentic to who you are as a person and you write your application with thinking about your own personality and taking courses that suit you, doing extracurriculars that suit you, you are going to get into the college that is the best fit for you. So while it's great to build your profile, I don't see Talerang as a one size fits all. Talerang's program, which is called Reality Bites, it is a selective program. We have an application process and we select students based on a few different factors. One is their own personal motivation. So are they doing this program because they want to do it, or is it because someone has told them that, if you do this, you'll get into college, right? So that's the first thing. We look for people who are motivated. The second thing we look at is communication skills, both written and spoken. We also look for students who have a passion for anything. It could be sports, it could be marketing, it could be finance, it could even just be social media. It doesn't have to be something very serious. And that is what we actually want. We want passionate, motivated individuals. The first step is we have a screening process. Our program is called Reality Bites because the idea is that we want to give you a reality check about the real world. Once you're selected, you go through 3 steps. There is training on 21st century skills. There is mentorship, where you go through 6 mentorship sessions to understand what is the right skill set for you and how should you go about planning your major in college or your future job. And then there is the most exciting part, which is the live projects, also known as unpaid internships at companies. So we have 350 corporate partners, and these corporate partners curate projects which our students can do, whether you're in school, college, or a young professional. Now, at the school level, there's, of course, a lot of hand-holding from our end to create the right job description because companies don't really know what project to give a high school student. Secondly, there's a lot of weekly check-ins and mentoring with the student to make sure that they're successful at the internship. And then there's a lot of support that we provide them because they may not necessarily have the skills to actually give what the company is looking for. So at the end of the internship, it's often it's the most challenging thing that the student has ever done in their life. And they come out feeling like they've really got a reality check on what the real world is. Sometimes they might find that their boss is too demanding. Or they might find that, hey, it was too easy. I'm just because I'm 13 doesn't mean that I'm not smart and I'm not effective and I'm not good with analytics. So, they get to see what the real world is all about, what the job market is all about. And I think that's what really differentiates our programs from others. It is that live project. So at the end of the day, they get something that is specific, supported, and structured. And they can do multiple live projects with us. So if they find that, okay, the first one was in the skill track area of coding, but next they want to explore fashion, they could do that. So they could work at a fashion company called Style No, or they could work at a coding company called Cloudworks. I'm just giving you examples. And at the end of it, this would eventually, of course, help their profile when they're applying for their college. But the goal is not just doing this to get into college. This is for you to explore. And if you explore and you achieve your potential and you prove yourself, then you will get a letter from Talerang. You will also get a recommendation letter from your boss, which will, of course, help you in your application. But if you sit around and do nothing in the internship, your boss is going to be like, hey, you know what? I'm not writing your recommendation because you don't deserve it. So that's why it's called Reality Bites, because it's not just about collecting certificates, collecting letters, and just padding your CV and getting into college. It's about getting a reality check and getting a real, authentic recommendation letter. So if you get a recommendation letter from one of our corporate partners, it means you have really deserved it and you will shine in whichever sector, whichever industry, or whichever major you have interned in.
That's great. That's really good to know. So all these programs are certified, right? If you have done well in the field. You get a certificate
Of
from the
course.
corporates and you get a certificate from the organization as well.
Of course. So there are 3 letters of certification. One is for the Reality Bites program, which includes the training that you've done on 21st century skills. So you learn skill sets like problem solving, like research, like analytics, intro to coding. So the training part, you get certified that, okay, now you have learned 21st century skills. The second is you get a letter saying that you have completed the. And then the third is you actually get a letter of recommendation. So the letter of completion of the project is something that Talerang will give you. But the letter of recommendation from the company, like I said, that is entirely dependent on your performance.
Right.
So the first 2 are guaranteed, and the third one is up upon you to prove and get. And that is what will really push your application.
So it's not only about the certificate or the letter of recommendation, but it also depends on how you can enhance and improve your skill sets, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
So that is what you're looking into. So we'll move on to the next question, which is which are the classes that you mainly focus on, and after on course completion or after completing these programs and internship with the corporates, what are the experiences that students share? How have they benefited from it? Have they when they get into a different field or when they get into the any sector in when it comes to employment or when they go for their higher studies, is it helping them? How what is their experience?
Sure. So we have had hundreds of students go through our programs at this specific program because it is selective. Of course, we take in people who are already bright. And so eventually they do very well, right? They end up at Ivy League colleges, they end up at top colleges across the world. To talk about some specific experiences, we recently had a student who went into CloudWorks and she worked alongside other interns who were in college. And I just got her feedback yesterday from the manager who said that she outperformed all the other interns. So because she is motivated and because she is driven and passionate about coding, right? So ultimately, what I've been super amazed by is that even interns who've gone into corporates like Mahindra Group, which is a large Indian conglomerate where I thought a high school student would get completely lost, and they've gone in just to do a project. It's of course not a paid internship, maybe a written work project, have gotten positive feedback from the managers. And it made me realize, why not take on a few within Talerang itself? So currently we're working on a podcast project and we have 3 high school students actually writing scripts which are going to be live on several platforms very shortly. And it'll be them who've actually authored and worked with me on these scripts. So I think that there is a lot of potential out there. We're very proud of the talent that we've had. And what they say, and more than them, it's their moms who say that firstly, their confidence has improved. Secondly, they've got that letter of recommendation, which would of course help them, in their college application. And I think thirdly, they've also realized that life is not always a bed of roses. Sometimes they do need to work hard. They cannot extend deadlines. Like they can bully their, sometimes their mom and say that I don't want to study or I don't want to do this. But when it's their boss, they don't really have an option. So I think the moms are also very happy that they have developed discipline and they've developed the ability to really get stuff done as per a schedule.
Yeah, it's really good that they're working in challenging environments. It will help them to learn a lot. Shveta,
Yeah.
also Shveta, you talked about a student who got into coding. What are the different fields that you offer when you're which are the like students approach you for different internship opportunities for doing different programs? What are the different fields you have or the subject areas that you cover?
Sure. So there are 14 skill tracks that companies are hiring for. Social media marketing, coding, finance, written communication, spoken communication, sales. We have design, so someone who's creative, fashion. So there are many of these. These are basically skill areas that we will guide you on. So when you come to us, you don't have to worry about your skill track. You just come in once you're done with it. Once you're done with the training, We will gauge you and we will guide you and we will tell you that, okay, this is where we saw a spark. Because in the training, you are exposed to 12 different challenges. You are given a coding challenge. You are given a social media challenge. You, in fact, build your own website. You set up your own Google ads during the training. So we will gauge how you do these different challenges and tasks. And then we will guide you as to, okay, this is where we think you will do well. And of course, the skill is one part of it. But there is also the fitment angle. So, for example, if you don't want to work 24/7, but the company culture is such that you will have to work that much, then maybe that's not the right fit for you. So we do look at both angles, and then accordingly we place students in companies.
Right. So thank you so much, Shveta Raina. We got to know a lot about your organization, the students that you're focusing on, the programs that you have. It's versatile. So thanks a lot. With that, we come to the end of the session. We were really honored to have you with us today. Thank you for spending this evening with us, and we wish the very best to Talerang. And I hope that many students are watching this, and you will be getting more students to intern and to join your programs in the future. Before we close this session, we have a small resource to share with our students that is about the Profile Building Fair, which is coming on July 30th and 31st. It's from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will have many organizations and speakers coming up to talk about how you can enhance your profiles, how you can work on specific sections in your profile. So we all hope to see you there. You can find the link to register for the Profile Building Fair in the description box below. uh, Before closing the session, Shweta, you have any final piece of advice to our students community?
I just want to say, stay passionate, stay positive. I know sometimes it's hard to be self motivated. We're always looking for motivation from outside. But ultimately, you need to find that motivation within you and that passion within you. And once you find that for any activity, whether it's sports, whether it's marketing, whether it's finance, you will see yourself shine and you will see that spark ignite. So look for that and wish you all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you, Shweta. With that, we come to the end. With that, we come to the end of the session. Thank you, Shweta, and thank you to all those who are watching the video. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, bye.